Thank you very much, guys. Double Lift was unable to carry on that Vayne, the hyper carry of all hyper carries, so we have to approach it right from the get-go. CLG, it's not coming together for them, especially in that game. They had all the tools to win and couldn't close it out. I want general thoughts, and then we'll kind of dive into the specifics.
I honestly thought CLG was going to win that game. They had complete control. Seraph was split pushing, got free kills on Chris, and they were just completely dominating. They should have won that game. Just everything was going well for them, and the Baron call. That was really the thing that turned it around, and that's you can't do that. If you want to win these games, you can't do a Baron call like that. And I mean, that bottom play actually should have turned out much better. But some misplays there, and then obviously the Baron call. Then afterwards is completely wrecked the game.
Scarra, your team is actually one that was at one point known for throwing at Baron consistently, but this split actually has shown incredible Baron control. So talk to me a little bit more about that Baron and the decision to go for it there and what maybe could have been done differently.
That Baron was just like, okay, well, it's just because they messed up the gank bottom. The gank bottom guaranteed, because Chris was sitting in the bush, all you had to do was run out and then W Chris, who had no flash. As soon as Seraph gets the W on Chris, he's immediately dead. They get either bot inhib or Baron, as Xpecial has said to me earlier. And then as soon as that happens, they win the game. But what happened was Link distracted them. Seraph TP'd in, and they tried to take Baron while the other team was coming in with extremely risky call, and they paid for it by losing the game. It was like a 4 or 5K gold swing, and then they couldn't come back from the game. A lot of that had to do with like their team comp being not that great at team fighting. They had a really split push oriented team comp, and then a lot of it was also down to like I think one of the hardest carries, Double Lift, built incorrectly. Like I feel like the Triforce build is really like an attempt at a mid game spike on Vayne when you don't really need it.
Yeah, I mean, just to touch on that, I too disagree with the Triforce build on Vayne. At that point in time, that amount of gold can essentially buy you an IE, which would have been far more effective moving into, you know, the 3-item, 4-item builds in the game.
Yeah, I'm going to raise my hand and say I don't agree with that build either. And the big reason is just that Triforce gives you tankiness, it gives you a little bit of damage, and gives you move speed. And guess who gives that for the Vayne? The Zillion, who gives you a bunch of move speed.
As well as the Nami.
Right, and the Nami. It's just Vayne was in position to carry. If he went for more damage, full damage, he probably could have carried that game. But obviously, I mean, actually think about it. They might have even been able to get that Baron too if he actually had an IE.
Very interesting. But we have to, again, give credit to Curse Academy because every time these two teams have been locked in a team fight, they have come out on top, regardless of what the gold lead is at that point. CLG only seems to be able to make picks and have small skirmishes. We're going to pull up a replay about 26 minutes into the game here in the mid lane. It's an engagement by CLG, so CLG is picking this fight, and yet it doesn't come out in their favor. Scar, I'm going to let you handle this one.
Okay, so they're coming in on this fight. They have like decent positioning for it, and Dexter tries to make like this grand play around the back, tries to flash on them. He flashes in place, messes up his flash, kicks the closest target, which is Braum. Not a great target to open on, but and then they get 2-man shockwave. Still not terrible for them right now, but Leak needs to understand that his ulti 100% needs to go on Double Lift. Like them getting Afro getting hit with that ulti was like game losing, and then Double Lift dying here was like. They lost all their pressure here. And they were lucky they didn't lose mid-inhib because Link double bombed the creep, and so they were able to push back Lucian from pushing.
Definitely a slight misplay there, ulting Aframu as opposed to Doublelift, who, as you have both stated, was in the position to carry with 2 lives on the Vayne. It's very possible that that fight could have been turned. Let's jump into the second one, and this one, of course, is the Baron replay. I want to dive into it. Let's kind of break it down from, the gank, the attempted gank in the bot lane up to the Baron. So we're gonna be watching what happens around the Baron. Xpecial, I'll let you take it away. We can preface it though with what's going on in the bottom.
Yeah, so what you can't see right now is that Ryze, I mean, you can see him bottom, but you didn't see that he actually messed up his little combo. He didn't get his snare down until way too late and allowed Chris to get way too far, forced Zillion to have to flash in just as slow. Had he gotten that, this would have been slightly different. And here, I mean, they're starting Baron, like, initially it's not so bad, but because Vayne doesn't do enough damage at this point, and the fact that everyone's already coming in, they need this turn, but Nami's is they need to fight. But unfortunately, they try to, they just try to keep finishing Baron, and they get grouped up. They get Braum ulted, Nami ulted, Braum ulted, Ori ulted, and then obviously Lucian's going to be able to clean up. Exhaust is also really good against Vayne, and I mean, that's why Vayne isn't played much, is because you get negated by not only Exhaust, but Braum's shield is going to also block your auto attacks. And plus his build wasn't exactly good for damage. was not good for that fight.
We do have to take a look at that Orianna pick real quick because as we've seen in both of these replays, the shockwave coming across has been a huge factor in turning those team fights. So do we expect to see it banned out? Do we expect it being picked away now that CLG is moving on to the blue side and Link is a pretty proficient Orianna player?
It might be banned or picked, but to be honest, I feel like Ori isn't as much of a problem as it is just them executing. Like, it might hurt their execution to some extent, but Ori is like, it is very easy to like target as like the problem because she lands ultis that are like game changing to an extent. But what you really need to notice is that like she shouldn't have been in the position to land that ulti. It's just CLG kept messing up all their team fights and all their execution before that happened. And so Keen lands an ulti, makes it look easy, and then everyone's just like, wow, like that was amazing. When it should have been like, wow, CLG really messed that up. Like that should never have happened in the first place. I think their draft phase that game was actually really, really good. I think I would have preferred Twitch, much preferred Twitch to Vayne, but they were able to do an ambiguous Zillion pick and get a really, really good bot lane 2v2 matchup. And honestly, like I thought that they would win just off doing that and controlling the early game, but it didn't quite work out that way.
They had all tools to win, and Orianna is a punching pick, not really a pick that is like a hard carry sort of thing. So even though Ori was a deciding factor that game, I don't think it's necessarily a pick or ban. It's a strong pick overall.
Okay, so then moving in to this game, which is potentially a game or a series-ending game, let's look at CLG because, as you said, we feel like they had a fairly decent pick ban there. They got ahead early, but as a team that we know is driven by emotion, can they pull it back together and run 3 games back to win this series?
Maybe. I think if any team is going to be down 0-2 and get 3-0'd, I would pick CLG to be at the top of my list to get 3-0'd. Because I feel like they're very emotional players and they tilt really, really easily. And this is something I've heard from multiple people, like on their staff and from a lot of other players. I want to say I have faith in that they'll turn it around, though, but I don't know if I really have that. I don't know if I can really lie like that. I think this might be a 3-0. I don't know. I'm not gonna not make a commitment on this last game.
All right, skirting the outsides and making a prediction. I like it. How about you, Xpecial?
I think if CLG ever had a time where they needed to win games, this is going to be the time. And I mean, I'm not going to say I believe in them, but it would be nice to see a couple games won by CLG.
Well, we'll see if they can step back into form. We will be right back here for Game 3 between CLG and Curse Academy in just 3.5, so stay with us.
We know we're the better team, right? So.
Yep, and just stick to whatever you were doing when we were practicing. Just do it. Don't even hesitate.
2 more games, then you're in the LCS.
Unfortunately, Afromo's ability.
Finally, we've got the jump. There it is, the double shockwave with the massive combo. Dexter tries to come in and get the work done.
I've been saying, Dexter can get back and release in, and he's done it. He's gone in for the insect play onto Keen, of all people. There's the shockwave, gonna hula hoop onto no one. Afromo happy to take up this turret. Funny Fufu now, the double lift show. And actually, Afromo takes the ultimate from Ling. Now double lift gets taken down by Impactful. Curse Academy have full reign of this fight, and that whole series of plays, 1-for-1 in the bottom lane. But Curse Academy, the 3-man shockwave, immediately deleting CLG off this map. Double lift goes down, triple kill for Keen. That's a decent McHale's from Afromu, but the fight is now on. This Glacial Fissure doing so well. 2-man shockwave in the backline. That's going to be the ultimate onto double lift, but he's actually going to die straight afterwards. Seraph now as well.
One more game, guys, in the LCS.